What's good, everybody? What's good? What's good? What's good? Let me get the charts going up. Let me get rid of that. We'll go over that here in a second. But what's good, everybody? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Just wanted to jump onto a call, look at the charts, and answer any questions that you guys may have had. So what's good, everybody? Just going to give it a couple more seconds. Let everybody else obviously join on to the initial call, so that way everybody could be on at the same time. Nobody's missing a beat, and then obviously we can get started with any information. Look at some charts and really see if there's any trading opportunities, being that today is Wednesday, where we might have a lot more volatility in the markets for us to obviously find some opportunities, maybe play some trades, and obviously make some money. So real quick, good morning, good morning, good morning. Let me just make sure that we got some people on. We definitely do. I just wanted to do this a little bit earlier in the morning as well. I think it's a little bit better that we start early, so that way we can actually identify our moves as the market's developing and before they actually develop into entries, because obviously I want you guys to be able to identify these entries a little bit earlier before we miss the move, or obviously, you know, as we mark it up, we have to get it immediately, and it kind of goes against the grain of what technical analysis means. So good morning. What's good, Nikki? What is good? What is good? just trying to go over some things with you guys. Let me just see. Now a bunch of people are texting me out of nowhere. It's crazy. All right, so I'm trying a different little thing with the green screen aspect. It just makes things a little bit easier. I feel like you guys get to see the charts a lot more. I know we had cool little overlays and everything, but I think that's just, it kind of clutters the chart for no reason. So I really want to make sure that you guys can understand everything, see the entire chart in its entirety, and make sure that, you know, nothing is, you know, the quality is straight for you guys. Let me actually just make sure that it's good for you guys on my end, because if it's not good for me, I know it's not going to be good for you guys. So let me actually just make sure that this, there we go, clears up. So I just want to make sure that it clears up, because for some reason it stays looking really choppy at first, but now it looks beautiful. All right. Good morning, everybody. So obviously I want to make sure, let me actually just make sure you guys can hear me. You guys can actually hear me as well. Just going through my steps to make sure you guys are good. All right. So real quick, I know that you guys are here with me right now. For my legacy students, real quick, I just want to shout out you guys for being amazing. We just had somebody pass an actual FTMO challenge with the EA. I thought it was a demo. Somebody actually passed a live one, so go figure. So I'm actually going to go ahead and put my my EA on a live FTMO as well, just to see if we can pass that within a few trading days, just like we did before. So once we actually do that, I'll be distributing the EA to you guys, so that way you guys can all, you know, get your funded challenge or your funded accounts, obviously be able to acquire more money and trade with more capital. And that's just value to you guys. That's not, you know, that's just something I came up with as far as an idea. So I really want to make sure that you guys have that as well. And I can't tell you how long it took me to learn how to build and code an EA and how it trades your strategy, and it's difficult. So I want to be able to have you guys make money with it. So that's just for you guys. So definitely want to make sure that you guys are updated with that. And for everybody else, real quick, if you guys want any type of information, knowledge within the charts, feel free to let me know now, because I am looking at the comment section. So if there's any specific markets you would like to identify, any questions that you have as well, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely available to answer any and all questions and really help you get to the next level as far as trading is concerned, right? The whole aspect of trading is to be more consistent and profitable at your approach and discipline. So what I really want to do is focus on that, help you guys understand a little bit more and really lead you in the right direction, and help you understand the tools that we use as well. So that way, again, you guys can become more profitable. You're amazing. Can't wait to test it out. Honestly, I can't even front. It's pretty good. It exceeds all my expectations. So I want to make sure you guys can use that as well. But yeah, if you guys don't have any specific charts so far, I'll take a look at gold, which obviously my favorite pair, which is actually, it's weird, the EA is based around trading gold, the volatility within it, even being able to catch these small moves. But actually, we'll go over this in its entirety. This is something that we marked up yesterday. This is something that we identified to really see what the market was going to be giving us. And again, I'm going to start from a higher time frame, make sure that we understand everything in its entirety. Let me just make sure no questions. Okay. So I know we went over this before, but we're going to go over this again, so that way, again, we understand exactly the reasoning on why gold is doing what it's doing. And it's cool that we track this too, because you can go back to the previous recordings, understand that, oh shit, he said this before. It happened. It's true as to the approach that he's looking at. Maybe I should pay attention a little bit more to that style. And not just like the style of trading, but the style, like the idea, right? The concepts that you use, or the steps that you would take in order for you to break down a trade, break down a market, so that way you can identify a profitable area. So again, we just hit a level of structure. So we understand that already. So we're just going to put structure. I know I'm repeating myself a lot with this, but I can't spell structure. I'm just going to put resistance. For some reason, I can't see it on my keyboard. I'm legally blind. No, I'm like, I really can't see. So for some reason, I can't see the key on there. So we're just going to put resistance. I can see it perfectly like that. I don't know why. So we have resistance. We can see that the market actually rejected from that point. So since we have the rejection from here, again, if you guys don't understand your candles, I say it to you guys every day, go learn them. We can see that rejection from that price, or that resistance here, showed us a strong idea of potential sells. And you can see here we have a bearish engulfing candle. Now, not so much engulfing against this one, but definitely engulfing against this this candle body. So we're looking at a bearish engulfing candle here. And when we scale down, we're going to see more behavior of selling pressure. We went over this, I think, this entire week, so I'm not going to be a dead horse too much. But we're going to go over more along the lines of the current standpoint of the market. So we understand everything. We went all over the head and shoulders, everything there. If you were here from the previous days, we already know. So what we can identify what the market is currently doing, we're actually going to scale down to a smaller time frame. What I was looking at yesterday was the idea of the market actually respecting this area of structure here. And with the respect of it, we were looking for sells. So looking like this. So I was identifying or allowing the market to come here and look for potential sells. And if I'm correct, I actually had a trend line here. I might have to just let the market fully go. But as you can see here, we do have an initial trend line. And I wanted to see some potential sells around that area. Now, if we let the market continue, you can see it broke above that level of structure. But it came crashing right back below at the test of that trend line. It tried breaking above that, and it could not. When we scale out to a higher time frame, you can see that it's more along the lines. Oh, it did actually close above. I thought maybe on the 4 hour there was actually a wick there, but there wasn't. It actually did close. But you can see an immediate return back in, or a bearish engulfing candle, which is still very much a valid idea for rejection. So right now, with gold actually coming right back within that zone, we should still be looking for potential sells. Now, actually, what's weird is we might actually have a potential sell coming up probably around this point. Now, we can see where the market is coming back to, right? It broke below this point. Now, before, just kind of like go back really quick, we were also identifying this as a range, right? Just to not get confused. So I was identifying that if we broke above this range, we were looking for a break and a retest to the upside. There was no retest. It came right back within that price point. So we can't look for buys unless, I mean, even riskier, we now know that that would not have been a good idea, but maybe a buy from there. But we can't do that no more, or identify that. What we can see is the market. Let me see if I froze yet. I have not. Cool. So what we can see is that we have a bearish engulfing. Again, just a bearish break below this level of structure. Just coming back down now to this support zone. What we can look for, and I'll just get rid of a few things so there's no confusion. And if you guys have any markets you want to identify, any questions, let me know. I will take a look at it after I'm done breaking this down for you guys. But as you can see here, we did in fact break below now this price point. Now my tools don't want to work. There we go. That was like weird. I kept clicking and it didn't work. But we can see that it's coming right back to this area of previous structure. Now I'm using just previous market clues, right? The market has broken below that point. I want to identify something from here. So there could be some potential entries around this point. So what I'm going to be looking for is this being our initial kill zone. I'll do it between the 38.2 and the 50. This is more along the lines of more of a specific price, but I want to see more of a correction. So we're going to do it just like this. Oh, I just got to make sure. Kill zone for, just sell kill zone. Now, again, I'm not immediately placing my trades when they get here. I'm just identifying this as a potential entry point, right? I'm looking at a level of previous structure. I'm identifying the fact that the retest zone, excuse me, the retest zone has confluence with the initial idea of Fibonacci. If I'm correct, I also had this trend line from here. Yep. So I do have the break of this initial trend line. This is why I hate deleting my original analysis. This is why I like just leaving it. But for you guys, I always want to make sure that we're starting fresh. You guys understand everything in its entirety. So I do have the break of that trend line. So let's mark that down as well. Break of trend line. So if I can see the break of that initial trend line, I can also identify that the market is most likely wanting to continue to sell. Trend line, right? Makes sense. So what I can see is, since we have the break of that trend line, we can also get the retest of it. So we can do something like this. Fib, trend line, structure, come crashing back down. So I think long-term right now, we should be looking, not long-term, at least for this week rather, because this could be today, tomorrow, because this is gold moves pretty extensively. We could be looking down here for targets, or at least for maybe some potential buys, right? So this would be our PRZ, which is considered to be called a potential reversal zone. So PRZ. Let's put it like that. Now, it doesn't mean like a strong reversal and it's going to remain a buy for like 10 years. That's not what I mean. But a PRZ meaning that if it comes back down here, or if it reaches this point, it's already been pretty much in a seller's market for a bit. that can be considered a potential reversal zone back up to a level of structure, right? It could just be even this. It can come back down here. My bad. If you hear any other noise, I got 3 computers in front of me, so I got everything working for us. It could be even something like that, just to cause a correction. Even a small move here on gold, you will see a lot of money being made even off a small correction like this. So I would be looking at this to be PRZ, potential targets as well, if in fact we do look for sells from here. So currently, just to start us off with, that's what I have on gold. Doesn't look like anybody has any questions or anything. So I'll just continue to mark up charts. Again, if there's any specific markets you would like to identify, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely available to take a look at those. If you're confused with anything that I'm doing as well, like if you're like, what is that? What are you talking about? Let me know, because I could definitely reiterate myself and go over some things that you could definitely get a better understanding of. So hopefully you guys get this. I know if my legacy students, you guys are on here, you guys definitely know exactly what we're talking about. So we're going to do this. So with that being the potential idea for the correction, I'll just get rid of that. I don't want too much on the chart. With the idea of the market giving us potential correction from the support zone, we could then look for sells anywhere around this area. So this would actually be a really good trade for us. And for me, I'll most likely confirm our entries with legacy line. So it does already show more along the lines of strong sells. So if this does come back into this area, I mean, that's even beautiful because we have the criteria of our legacy line. I know everybody's confused with this, but I'm just taking a look at this, seeing if there's any further confluence I could add to this. But all right, now it looks normal. But yeah, no questions. Everybody's Gucci. Good morning. What's good, Alex? What's good morning? What's good? What's up, Jose? I see everybody jumping on. So yeah, questions, comments. If you guys need anything, feel free to let me know. I'm actually going to make sure that I add these charts to the Discord analysis as well, to really make sure that you guys continue to understand exactly what's going on with this. If you're not, again, a part of the Discord, the link to the Discord is actually in the description of the video here. So make sure that you go ahead and join that. Stay updated with everything. So that way, obviously, you get signals as well, because obviously this is going to be a potential. Wait, this already happened. What the fuck? I'm so angry. I didn't realize that I just had that on replay the whole time. Wow. That's hilarious. I didn't realize that. I really thought that was it for a second. I didn't realize that. Well, look at that. The analysis was pretty fucking spot on. And that's crazy. That was my previous analysis as well. I'm over here talking like it's actually going to come back up to this area. I thought literally that was it. I don't know why, but that's actually crazy. Look at that. Oh, man, that's hilarious. So, I mean, we missed the entry. Oh, that's so crazy. I didn't even realize I didn't press play again, so that way it finished. I thought as soon as I closed it, oh, that's hilarious. Well, I mean, that goes to show the analysis is true, I guess. And look at that, sell kill zone. I honestly did not mean that. I swear to God, I did not mean that. That is hilarious. Somebody, is that why you put the fire? I really did not mean that. That's hilarious. Well, I mean, look. At this point, we can see that this structure is still holding. Oh, that's so embarrassing. I swear to God, I was like, oh, yeah, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. I mean, it did it, but that's crazy. Oh, that's so bad. That's bad. All right, well, I'm not really mad at it. I mean, at least we know the analysis and the idea is true. That's why I hate deleting my original analysis in the first place, because I was like, I know we had that trend line, I know we had that stuff. It's just basically what I was looking at before. That's crazy. Well, at least I don't have thousands of viewers, so that, yeah, I mean, because if that would have been the case, that would have been crazy. But damn, I mean, at least the analysis is true. I mean, gold did in fact sell from that area. At this point, we're just going to look for a potential re-entry from here. Oh, that's so crazy. If not, we could get a break below that point, and then obviously continue to our PRZ zone. At least the PRZ zone is still very much true. We can see very much how our level of structure here is holding as well for support. That is so crazy. I really thought that I finished pressing because I did this. I really thought that like we're here. And you know what's crazy? I should have noticed when the price wasn't moving. And I didn't even see that this was still up here for a second. So as soon as I closed it, I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And then it came out like that. That's so funny. Well, all right, the analysis there. I'll go ahead and move on to something different. But at least we know that it is true, that what we talk about, I mean, the tools that we use is very much, you know, a very relevant way of you, or the way that we use our tools is very relevant to the idea of identifying or breaking down a chart, and again identifying where to enter the markets as well. So again, I mean, that's a beautiful idea. And you know what's crazy? I just remembered that was the idea that broke above. That's crazy. All right. So I'll make sure that I don't make that mistake again, because I'll probably never use that replay tool again. All right, so let me go ahead and take a look at some other charts. I do want to take a look at GBP, JPY, some pound pairs, and obviously some just yen pairs in general, some of my other favorite markets to trade. As far as yen pairs are concerned, they're extremely volatile, so let's go take a look at GJ. That's so crazy. I'm never going to get over that. That is funny. So, real quick, let's actually take a look at GJ. This is something that's been annoying me as well, too, because this is kind of just like in this weird little funk now after this crazy bullish move. But I do think we're going to probably start finding some potential sells happening sometime soon. It's just a matter of when. Right now, we kind of are right back within this this price point where the candles actually, or the body of the candles here could not break above. Where you can see here is pretty much identical in price. So this is, I mean, this is an entire zone of structure. I'm just not going to have my zones that big, right? Because we could take into account the wick of this candle, but I'm not going to do that. But I can see that there is some form of structure being made here. When we scale down to, actually, if we scale up to weekly, let me see what's here. Yeah. So actually on the monthly rather. So I usually don't go this far back in price, to be completely honest. But I mean, if we look at what this this monthly chart has to offer, we look left to get right, we are coming back to some form of structure, right? This used to be structure, and now somewhat here as well. But I'm not a huge advocate of just using that far back in price to actually advocate for current analysis too much. But I am going to kind of take into consideration now, because as far as we go back in price for GJ to identify how strong that is as structure, we can see it's more along the lines like in the beginning of where the market began as far as price is concerned, right? So what I can identify again is, again, we're finding some resistance here. When we scale down, we're starting to get some type of, I would say, a weak bullish move. And we're already starting to create these lower highs. I probably shouldn't do this on the 1 hour. It's probably should be done somewhat on a higher time frame, 4 hour, maybe even daily. But we're already starting to create these lower highs. And you can see here previously there was no lower highs when this was bullish, right? I mean, even from over here, there was some sell-offs, but it's been pretty bullish this entire time. And so since this entire impulsive move had higher highs and higher lows with literally no regard to the downside, I would expect this to continue to do the same, but we're not. So we're already creating the idea of a lower high. So let's actually just draw that out. So lower highs. So me seeing the lower high idea is telling me that bullish, or the bulls, might not be as relevant anymore. They might not be trying to take over. They might be tired. So let me go down to a smaller time frame and just kind of like, I wouldn't say scalp, but you can use a smaller time frame when you get the idea of the overall market direction and trend. So I would kind of identify, let me see, actually, I was actually looking at this to be the structure point here, to be honest. Because as you can see here, and I'm going to use the replay button, so if I mess this up, somebody remind me. I was actually looking for this to like, oh, I got to actually go back a little bit further. So I was actually expecting this to be the level of resistance and possibly find some selling momentum, but I don't see that. My next level of structure, or my levels of structure, was somewhere around that point, and then obviously at these highs, right? My tools don't want to work. Come on, there we go. So I can see right there that being a potential high. I'm going to get rid of this, but now we can see that that's not the case. We can see that right now we're starting to create some type of bearish momentum. Now, this being the entire zone, let's go from here. Just draw this out. So this will be the entire zone. Let me correct this really fast, because we can see this is an entire cluster of price. Now we're within that zone. We're also, in the trend line's not valid, but we're identifying that trend line currently for future analysis, because we're already creating the idea of a lower high. So I do want to identify some potential sells here on GBP, JPY, but right now we have no confirmations for that. So what I am going to identify is this, and this is just a markup for the future, because that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to predict the future when we're trading, honestly. I want to see some key levels being broken before I can really see some sells being taken. I obviously want to see that low being broken, because you can see that this was a previous high, broken above, tested, and had a bullish reaction. Obviously, we have other forms of structure down here, but that's not relevant to me at the current time. But if you want to identify that, you can also identify that for future reference as well. But I think if this level of structure is broken, without a doubt, it's going to continue to sell. Now, what we can look for, because what it's currently giving us, so there's no confusion. Let me get rid of this down here. No questions. Everybody's Gucci. What's good, everybody? I see a bunch of people along. Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, and I'm sorry for any noise in the background. I live in New York City, so if you hear anything, forget about it. So what I can't see is this being broken here. And we can see how impulsive, or bullish rather, GBP, JPY has been. We can't go against that as of yet, only because the market is so bullish. So look at what we have here. We do have an idea of a break and retest here, even on the 1 hour time frame. And we're currently on this candlestick getting some form of rejection. Makes sense? So what we can be identifying is maybe some potential buys on GJ until the market really deems itself a actual sell. So let me scale down to the 15. I might actually personally get into a buy on this, just because I haven't placed any sells in this as of yet. I've just been waiting for this market to actually show me what it wants to do. But since it's bullish, I do see this current break. The market is continuing in that fashion. The higher probability is in the direction of where the market is going. I would think that we should be looking for buys. So let me actually just do this. I'm not going to buy it as of yet, but I am going to, again, no entries right now. This is just a visual. So my stop loss would actually be, if that's broken, I'm not going to, I'd have a 30 pip stop loss on this because GJ loves to play around. And then as far as the take profit, I mean, I really wouldn't even identify a take profit as of yet. But I mean, the first level of structure up here, that's about 200 and almost 70 pips. Now that's, I mean, if the market starts showing sells way before it even reaches a target zone, obviously I would get out much sooner, but this is what my initial trade setup would look like. So hopefully that makes some sense with GJ if anybody was trying to identify it. But yeah, questions, comments, concerns, gripes, complaints, what you guys got for me so far? If anything, I am taking a look at the comments. I see a bunch of people on. I want to make sure that I'm staying relevant to what you guys need as far as education and charts that you guys want to take a look at as well. So I got my handy dandy phone right here, making sure that I got everything ready for you guys. But that's what I would potentially look for GJ. But there is no entries as of yet. But I do want to see, there might be, because that candle just closed. Nah, I'm gonna allow this to just see if it comes pushing back down a little bit before we actually go ahead for our buys. If not, I'll probably put a buy stop above here, because if it breaks above that point, obviously it's going to be creating more highs. So we'll actually do that. We'll put potential buy stops above this area. So yeah, let's see. I might sneeze. I'm just trying to see. All right, I don't want to sneeze in everybody's ear. All right, it went away. I was trying to make sure I wasn't like too loud, blew your eardrums out. But perfect. Let me actually just draw this out. And you can use, technical analysis on smaller time frames such as the 15, the 5. It's just not as reliable. But I would identify that trend line here as a potential break. Actually, if I'm correct, we can actually scale this further. Okay. So yeah, that trend line being very much valid. Here on the 1 hour, it doesn't seem like much, like you could draw that out. But on the 15, obviously, you could definitely see that trend line being very much a valid idea. So if I do see a break, even that trend line here, I probably get out of that trade if I do enter any buys early, because obviously break of a trend line equals a directional change. So I do want to identify and see what happens with this next. But it seems like you guys are Gucci. All right, everybody's good. Everybody, no questions, no comments, no nothing. No markets. All right, seems like you guys are okay. So let me go ahead and see if there's any other specific markets we can take a look at. Now, again, I just want to make sure I'm staying relevant to what you guys want to take a look at. I'm just identifying and seeing what there's potential trades and if there's anything that we can obviously mark up, just give you guys value. But yeah, seems like you guys are good. Now, I don't do too much. Like, I'm not going to go start breaking this down as like I normally would from like I'm talking about extreme detail on here. I'm just marking things up, seeing what we have. But I actually, real quick on USD CAD, I like what we're identifying here. We can see, I mean, we're very much within a buy zone. So let's do this. Strong buy zone. So we'll make this a little bit smaller. So within the strong buy zone, I mean, I want to identify any key factors of potential buys, or the market trying to just show that it's rejecting. And can you guys see anything that would identify potential rejection from a support range? Because I clearly do. I know legacy students, you guys definitely understand exactly what I'm talking about, right? You can see how this market is reacting around this price point, this support. When we scale down to smaller time frames, let me get rid of the actual point there. Got a bunch of people hitting me up on Discord already. If you guys have questions, don't hit me up on Discord. Hit me up on here. So I always have that happen. Everybody's like, oh, I got a question. They hit me up on like Facebook or Morse code or some shit, and I can't answer it while I'm on here. But if you did actually ask me a question on Discord and you're on the call here, make sure you ask me here so that way I can get to it. Actually, there might be a little channel here. Where is this is how much I don't use channels that I don't even know where it's at. I could just draw it out. I actually don't even have the tool for it, but know where the tool is on this. But there's like a semi little channel here on USD CAD, which right now could indicate that there's a potential bullish breakout pattern at that, which could indicate potential buys here on USD CAD. So I'm just marking this up in the sense of where I would like to identify buys. I would like to see it just above. I'm going to cheat a little bit and see this being our structure. Wicks, my man Rome, absolutely. Right, the wicks on the candlesticks are definitely going to indicate any potential idea of rejection. So what I'm looking at here is I want to see breaks above. Breaks above that point to confirm strong buys. I almost could not see how I spelled that entire sentence without my contacts, but I did it. I did it perfectly with no grammatical errors. I love myself. Nah, because for some reason I can't spell things like without my contacts. But all right, so what I can see is, again, let me actually make this a little bit smaller. Breaks above this point would obviously confirm strong buys. But as you can see here, we're just following this trend line. If you can't see the connective points, base, secondary, trigger, being the fact that you enter your trade, hint, hint. And then you can obviously see here that the market is respecting that point here. I don't have a cool fancy word for the fourth touch, but wicks equal rejection, exactly. And we can even see here that this is giving us some form of rejection. But what I am going to do is kind of like box this out. And we can see here how this market is going to most likely work in the sense, let me get rid of this. So we know it's following this bearish trend line. We do have this somewhat of a channel, if you will, here on the 4-hour time frame. This is also a level of structure up here as far as resistance, which has not been met because obviously it's respecting the initial trend line. We also know that this is a level of structure support because it has not broken below that point, and it's also a daily level of support, daily and weekly, if that. So this price point, it being extremely important. So we'll actually just drag that out to show how important that is, because going back into previous history, if this comes back down to this point, I want to see potential buys and a break above this trend line. Obviously, this trend line could be broken beforehand, or the structure could be broken beforehand, but currently that's not the point. We can see it being respected. So right now, I mean, we can even do this, break above trend line as well. Obviously, break above, I'll put TL, indicates early buyers momentum. I can spell all of that, but I can't spell structure without my contacts. That is hilarious. But you can even see here, break above trend line indicates early buyers momentum. So if I could see that that's the case, is this most likely going to be broken? Probably. So you can either buy at this point, you could buy the break out of the trend line, you could buy the break of the initial structure, put buy stops above either one of these areas. That's up to you guys. Me personally, I'd probably be looking for buys just roughly right around here. Reason being, the risk to reward would be much more in your favor. What do I mean by that? Good question. Let me answer that. If I entered here, my stop loss is going to be here somewhere, right? Anywhere around this area. And my targets could be here, or obviously all the way up here. Now, if I enter the market, let's say at the break of the trend line, my stop loss is still here. It's a greater distance. My first target's, let's say here, not as great. You know what I mean? So, and obviously, same thing if we enter the market up here at the break of the initial structure. Still the same stop loss. Less risk or less reward, because now, I mean, I wouldn't say less reward because your first target's up there. So still very much a good trade, but the risk behind it is a lot more. So just as a personal tip, I'm probably going to start buying from that initial range down here. So that way the risk reward is more along the lines of myself and legacy students' favors. So hopefully that kind of makes sense for USD CAD. But that was just really quick what I saw, just panning out to USD CAD, seeing if this level of structure here can be respected, being this one here. If not, then obviously we'll be looking for structure or an idea around here. But that'll take a while. So marking this up right now is not important to me, so I'm gonna leave that out. And then obviously if this is broken, we look for potential sells to the downside. But I don't think that, because look at how our doji candlesticks are setting up. Got a long tail or a kangaroo tail doji, right? That's showing me that the market is most likely wanted to reject from that point and wanted to look for potential buys. So hopefully that makes some sense. Now, any questions? Any other markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you guys. Now, again, there's no entry on this. There's nothing that we could do on this as of yet. So nobody go ahead and start placing any buys or sells, or I'm just looking at this and mark this up as an idea. You know, let me see. Nothing? Y'all guys good? All right. Looks like y'all just listen. Let me see what's up with gold real quick. Gold embarrassing me. I should have just, I'm so mad I didn't press that button. But again, at least the analysis worked out. So let me see really quick. Now I'm just skimming through. Oh, let's actually go over Bitcoin. I want to see on a technical standpoint how Bitcoin and how cryptos are actually doing really quick. So I know I've been saying it is crazy, because I was saying how I think that the rally here for the majority of cryptocurrencies kind of should be coming to an end. And I do believe that that's starting now. If we actually go ahead and pay attention to the higher time frames once again, for anybody who has not heard me speak on cryptos before, at least on a technical standpoint, because I don't follow cryptos on a fundamental aspect. At least I will be soon, actually, only because I do want to incorporate cryptocurrencies very heavily into our platform as far as the legacy Discord. So that way, obviously, everybody can either day trade or obviously invest into it in a very strategic manner. So, but even on a technical standpoint, we can already kind of see what's happening. So right now, being on the weekly, and mind you, I'm not actually, this does, yeah, never mind. So today's Wednesday, Thursday. Okay, so this does have a lot more time to actually be a little bit more volatile. We can see right now that we did in fact reach these highs on Bitcoin. I understand that. But even with that, I mean, we can see how it gracefully fell from those highs. And as it did, it gave us something very important, at least for a technical trader, to pay attention to. That head and shoulders pattern. That's important, because that pattern, no matter what market you're looking at, whether it's forex, commodities, indexes, obviously here on crypto, you're going to need to pay attention to it, because it is a strong reversal pattern. The neckline has already been broken and is already being retested, right? Coming back to a level of previous structure. If we identify this further, if I'm correct, it did, yeah. I was about to say, I know it had a neckline because it is a head and shoulders pattern, but you can see here, it broke the initial neckline as well with this significant candle. So coming back to that level of previous structure, being here, I'm going to make this, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to bring it up here because we're going to scale down to a smaller time frame. And when we do, I don't want the candlesticks to all be blue. So I'm just identifying it here specifically. And when we actually use a fib, because we actually have to, oh, there we go. When we actually use a fib, we got to go from these swing highs here to these swing lows here, in case anybody's wondering. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go swing high, swing low, and we're going to identify further confluence. Makes sense? Did I freeze yet? No, I did not. All right. So again, we're getting confluence on what the market is doing. We have a break of a trend line. We have a retest of said structure. We have a fib confluence within that set structure. We don't have the test of the trend line, which is fine. You're not always going to get that, but the break of it is extremely important, right? We can now determine what the candlesticks may be doing at this area now. Now, what do we have at this level of structure? At least here on the weekly, we have a doji, or we have candlestick patterns. I don't want to give you guys too much. I want you guys to understand and go study your candlestick patterns on your own. Oh, and it's not to sound rude. It's only because, again, you retain that knowledge so much more when you do the research yourself. But it is a very important factor within your trading. Now, what I will say is I want this to end up closing more bearish engulfing, because if it closes more bearish engulfing, we have a stronger standpoint for cryptocurrencies, or just here specifically on Bitcoin, to actually show us more along the lines of a selling move. And again, let me just make sure you guys are good. All right. So what I would be expecting is now for the market to potentially push back down to at least these lows. So let's do this. Now, I know that this is the initial low that we're looking at from the impulse, but this is the structure point that I would be identifying for cryptocurrency, at least for Bitcoin itself. Now, if this does come back down to this area of structure, I mean, that'll be a great investment range for anybody to start putting money into your wallet, right? So we can actually just draw it out like this. Strong investment range. So me seeing the idea of a strong investment range, I mean, again, you can start putting money into a crypto wallet, whether it's Bitcoin or any other major crypto, because I do believe that the majority of all cryptos do have a strong correlation with Bitcoin, where if this moves up, the others are obviously gaining value. When this moves down, others are obviously losing value. That's just a correlation. I do believe that is very evident, but I know crypto experts might disagree, but it's just something that the market is doing. Right? Pretty much when one's selling, the others are selling as well. I mean, if you go look at Ethereum, same thing. If you go look at Dogecoin, Shiba, same thing, which we'll take a look at some of those here in a second. But I do think that with at least Bitcoin, we're going to reach back down to these lows. If that's broken, which is still very much possible, we can identify these lows down here, which is just roughly around like the 10,000, like the 10 to 15,000 handle is where I believe that it'll come back down to. Which a lot of people would be like, Jay, that's crazy. I don't think it'll ever do that. Whoever thought that this would have ever shot up to the upside like that? Whoever would have thought that Shiba Inu or Dogecoin would have been relevant things to make people tons of money? But it did. So the idea behind what cryptocurrency currently is, what the, how it's going to be applied throughout the world, it's going to make it more valuable, but they're not going to make it valuable or want to buy into something. I'm talking about people with huge money. When it's already at highs. So I would expect pretty much a sell-off with the majority of all cryptos. We can even see that with Ethereum, right? When we're on the weekly, this is a strong idea. We were at these highs previously. This was last year, November. So when we could see the highest point being no longer, relevant, these highs should have been broken. They're not. We're already creating, again, a strong pattern, head and shoulders. And now that market is starting to come crashing. Well, I wouldn't say crashing, but we can see where it's rejecting off of this specific price point. Was that important previously? Yes. Right here. The wick of that candle. And as you see here, it broke through. And now we're coming back to test that area, and it doesn't seem like it's having a good time when it's testing it. So I think even Ethereum, for the most part, will start seeing some type of potential move to the downside. I know I posted something in our Discord for students that it said something about Ethereum being more valuable. I do think that's going to be the case in the long run, but I think right now we're going to start seeing the majority of all cryptos starting to sell off for the most part. So we're going to do this. You can even see there, we're identifying a strong case for continued sales. So hopefully that makes sense if you guys are paying attention to cryptos as well. But yeah, any questions, any specific markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. We've already kind of went over, well, we definitely went over gold. We kind of went over GJ. Let me actually take a look at that, see what that's doing. Again, there's no entries on this as of yet. We're just identifying and seeing what ideas we can see come up with as far as potential entries. This is exactly why we did not buy. I want to see if this can come back down to this area before we actually enter, and it's coming back down. So let's see if there's no, I don't have any orders, like any pending orders rather. for this. Let me actually delete this in case anybody gets confused and thinks we're buying from there. We are not as of yet, but we are nearing that area for potential buy. So I want everybody to keep their eyes out for this, so that way, if this area of structure is respected, you guys have a potential buy opportunity here with GBP JPY. So let's see if that does fruition in our favor. If we're able to even place that on the live, or like here on the live, I'd definitely make sure that we do that as well. But let's see. You guys good? All right. Seems like everybody Gucci. No questions, no comments, no markets. All right. Seems like you guys just listening. GBP NZD, annoying the hell out of me right now. Nothing to really go over with that anymore. I'm still looking for sells on that, but who knows? So I think, see, this is why, like, the markets, I mean, they're starting to shape up more. I will say that. I'm not going to sit here and say that they have been completely useless, but they have been shaping up a little bit better. But it's still like a market like this I don't necessarily want to trade, because as you can see, it's very choppy. You can't really see too much. I mean, the strongest idea was probably the sells from maybe here. Obviously, if you're coming back to that structure point. But I would think that this was going to continue to sell. Let me actually just draw this out. Does that connect? It does not. I'm not going to force my trend line to work. But I mean, that trend line is valid. It just has not come back to retest the trend line as it's been broken. But it has come back. In what time frame? The 1 hour? Has come back to the structure point for a retest, and we can see the rejection from there. So we might actually have a sell point here with GBP USD. I know you guys are probably like, but you're buying or looking for buys on GJ. Look at this and look at GJ. Completely two different entities. So I want to make sure that I'm treating them as individuals. So we might actually be able to identify some entries roughly around this area. So even with GBP USD, if this can, which I hope it does, come back anywhere within this area of these candle highs, I'll be looking for potential sells. If not, I'll probably start looking for sells sometime soon, because we can see how this market is already rejecting. So GU definitely looks like some strong buys are coming up. Can we look at oil? What, US oil? I mean, this is, in my opinion, going to continue to be bullish. But as far as like, I'm probably the worst person to talk about oil, because I personally don't trade this. But even if I did, this is probably something I wouldn't trade, because this is a market right now heavily affected by fundamentals, and the technicals, I mean, it's pretty stagnant right now. So I really wouldn't do too much on this, to be honest. Like, the way that I'm seeing it as of right now, I mean, if anybody was trading during this trending idea, yes. But as of right now, I really don't see too much. I mean, oh, correct that. Let me make sure that's valid. That's probably it in the, the potential inverted head and shoulders pattern, honestly. So maybe a break above, but I think, again, like that kind of solidifies my thought of a continued bullish market. I think, especially, again, on the fundamental aspect, leading into the summer where demand is more because everybody's trying to travel, all the vacation spots, just in general, people driving a lot more often, frequently. I think that, I mean, you're going to get more along the lines of a continued bullish idea. So that kind of solidifies it right there. So, yeah, I would say more along the lines of a bullish market here with oil. I'm thinking I'm still may sell. Nah, I wouldn't really look for those sells. Again, like, those sells will probably not work with how this market is currently looking. Again, if we look left to get right, it's already coming back to also respect the previous price point, right, that it broke out of. It's maintaining that market structure. It broke from here and is retesting, and you're getting bullish indications. That market is probably going to want to buy. So continuing that idea, I think that's probably best. Even here on the smaller time frames, again, I really don't see too much, but I mean, this is pretty good right here. That's the cause for that buy. So if anything, you want to see breaks above here. See breaks above that point, then yeah, I would start looking for continued buys. If you don't, and the market does this and is respected, then you can look for sells. So that would be my idea with oil. Obviously, it's not going to be perfect like that. It's not going to respect perfectly like that. But if you identify that the market is respecting this point, then you could probably get into your sells if that's what you're looking at. But if that's not the case, if that's broken, then you're going to look for continued buys up until previous price points. You know what I mean? So I'd be very careful with that. All right. I appreciate that you were asking about oil though. But yeah, any other markets, any other questions? This one's pretty easy only in the sense because there's not too much to really do on it as of yet. There might be a case where another chart might not be that way, but yeah, this is just pretty much, you don't mess with this as of yet. Let it truly develop and show you what it wants to do. Because once it really shows you, then you know. Right now, it hasn't really shown too much as far as like indications, signals, if you will, that the market leaves behind. So as of right now, not yet. But you can mark this up in a sense where that if it does start to develop, you get these breaks of structure, you get these breaks of your trend lines, then you can identify what initially is going to happen next. As of yet, not yet. Let me see. Nikki, yeah, oil just rejected the level of weekly support, buyers still in control. Yeah, I mean, like, and just real quick on the fundamental aspect, the gas prices haven't really gone down too much. And they're actually speaking about another increase in gas prices, which will obviously increase the value of oil across the board, not just U.S. oil or UK or WTI. All oil will be affected the same way in the sense of directional movement. So I do believe that we're looking at more along the lines of bullish intent for oil. And the majority of all like commodities, like I'll take a look at US 30 really quick, obviously, because I know somebody's going to ask. But this is, I mean, in a sense, still very much in a bullish market. I know it doesn't seem that way right now, and we might have to come back to that in a sense and see this as bearish, because as it seems, my previous analysis actually worked. I know it doesn't seem here, but like what I looked at before with this is exactly is happening pretty much exact. So we'll actually go over US 30 and show you what I mean. Hi Jay, what is your take with AUD USD? I'll take a look at that here in a second. I got you. So real quick, I do see US 30 going to continue to sell actually. Reason being, I mean, you can't deny the pattern. It's very much a head and shoulders. Oh, and AUD USD is probably a strong buy at that, I think. So, yeah, I think AUD USD is a buy. If I'm correct, they had strong fundamental news, and that thing has not seen a sell since, I believe. But I think there was a correction. I'll take a look at it. But, yeah, US 30, just real quick, very quick glance. Don't need to do any more analysis as a sell. So if anybody's looking at this market, like trades it and wants my analysis or thought, that's a sell, 100%. You're not looking for any buys on US 30. At least not until you get down to some specific lows, probably down here. So just looking at that real quick. But yeah, I'll take a look at AUD USD real quick. Yep. So there's your answer. You know what I mean? Like, and this is, again, this is not to sound rude. This is not to sound disrespectful. We have a break above a previous level of structure in a bullish market. You're just looking for buys. You know what I mean? You're not trying to go against the grain. You're not trying to make things complicated. So AUD USD, you want my take as a buy. You know what I mean? Like, look, broke above structure. So you broke above your structure point. You're in a bullish market. You're just going to continue to buy AUD USD. Also, yesterday or the night before, rather, I believe that there was some Aussie news that came out that forced the Aussie dollar to be more relevant, more strong, if you will. So we can even see here that is the case. So you're just looking for buys on AUD USD. That is it. You're not trying to overcomplicate or do anything more. Yeah, if oil up, AU was up, exactly, yeah. If it just rejected weekly support as well. So yeah, I mean, you're just looking for those buys here on AUD USD. You're not going against it. Like, I want everybody to pay attention to this really quick. Don't fucking overcomplicate your trading. I'm sorry for cursing, but I'm trying to make this, I'm trying to help you guys understand how easy trading can be. Look at the fucking chart. Is it up? Is it down? If it's down, you know it's selling. If it's up, you know it's buying. So you don't need anybody's take. And this is a general statement. This is not specifically to anybody. This is me being specific to, or not specific to an individual. This is specifically to everyone here watching, right? As an individual, don't make this more difficult, right? if you sit back and like, damn, yo, this looks like it's buying, but is it? And then you do this, you scale out. You're like, damn, bro, that looks like it's been buying, but is it selling? No, you already know what the market is doing. You don't need anybody else's opinion, right? Because you can see it. When you see it, you want to follow in that direction. You're not just going to say that, well, you know what, this has been bullish since March of this year, right? March of this year. It's been bullish since then. And the one random day that we jump onto the chart, being today, Wednesday, you're like, oh, it's going to sell today. Absolutely not, right? It's probably going to continue in the market direction. So and that's for everybody. You follow the market. I'm not going to say the trend is your friend, because that's like, I hate hearing it, I hate saying it, but you follow the money, right? If it's up, you buy. Don't need anybody else's opinion on that. If you can see it buying, you follow. It's been buying, I mean, even since before that, January of this year, right? So that's been buying ever since. There has been sell-offs, but overall, you're just looking for buys, my mans. Simple math. 2 + 2 = apples, baby. Nah. Let me see real quick. Thank you, Jay. You the man. I appreciate you. Absolutely. What's up, Jason? But yeah, again, you always want to just keep it as simple as possible. You never want to overcomplicate it. Call a spade a spade. That's where confidence comes into play. Call a spade a spade. I tell my students that shit all the time. Like, when they see a head and shoulders pattern, I promise you, that's what the question I got on Discord was, Jay, is this a head and shoulders pattern? And they mark it up perfectly. They got it, everything. Sometimes students' charts look better than mine at some point, right? Because they practice that much. And everything's perfect. And they say, Jay, that looks like a head and shoulders pattern. Is it? Yes. If you see your best friend in a room full of 100 people, 100 strangers, and you see your best friend, you're going to be able to identify them immediately. Same thing with what you look at on the chart. You want to be able to identify everything. I wouldn't say immediately. You obviously want to take your time. But if you see something, right, and oh shit, I know what that is. Obviously, it is what you are thinking, because you've seen it before. It's very relevant. It's very, common, if you will. You're used to seeing it. Right now, it's the same thing. If you can see a bullish market, you want to continue in that fashion. That's where the money's going. Call that out. Feel confident. Call a spade a spade. So again, AUD/USD is bullish, but I'm trying to install that confidence, not just for you, but for everybody here as well, because it's really important that you have that. You know, without the confidence, it doesn't really give the profit. So hopefully that helps. Spitting truth, Jay. What's up, Russell? I appreciate that. I'm just being real. You know what I mean? I don't want anybody thinking that trading is it is hard. I'm not gonna say it's the fucking easiest thing in the world. It's definitely difficult, but you don't have to add the difficult, like, more difficulty to it. You know what I mean? Like, you could just simply follow your strict rules, identify what the market leaves behind, use those clues for profits. That's as simple as it sounds. There's more to it, but if you try to have a systematic idea towards it in that manner, it becomes a lot easier, and the thought process is a lot easier as well. Your confidence goes through the roof. You're able to place bigger lot sizes. Obviously, with bigger lot sizes, you make more money. So, yeah, just being real. But yeah, what other markets you guys want to take a look at? What else can I help you guys with? If there is anything, again, I want to make sure that you guys are good. It is 8:30, so it's officially the start of New York session. And then we're going to have the New York Stock Exchange be opening up here soon as well. Right here, as you see here, we have, oh, wow, that didn't even reach our kill zone. So as you see here, this is what I was looking at. And again, if I don't press the replay button, somebody remind me. As you see here, I was looking at some type of idea. Where is it? Is it here? Nope. Oh, it's over here. I wanted to see if this can actually come back to correct. Oh, I actually had it at this candle. So I wanted to see if maybe this market could correct. I'm going to get rid of that fib because we don't need it. Back to this point for a potential sell, but I did say that it can just say fuck that and just continue to sell. And it did exactly that. So what we can do now is get rid of a few things and remark this up in the sense where we can identify potential entries, which makes sense because, the Aussie dollar is just continuing to gain strength. It's crazy. Actually, we could delete everything. All right, just making sure you guys don't got no more questions. Let me get rid of this replay button just in case. I would still just identify 2 points. We broke below this structure, and it can come back and correct at least back to where we originally thought was our sell zone. So we're going to mark this up in a sense where we can identify entries. Now, Obviously, I would now use a Fibonacci retracement tool to identify confluence within those points. Now, the 23.6 can be used as confluence. It is a Fibonacci zone, right, or Fibonacci ratio rather. So that absolutely can be used as a form of confluence and structure for a potential sell. That'll be considered an aggressive sell because the correction isn't as corrective, right? You want to see a nice correction for the risk to reward to be better, because obviously if I sell from there, my stop loss is going to be somewhere up here. But if my take or my entries right here, I'll probably get a stop loss anywhere around here as well, or maybe even up here, right? So I want to see if I could do this. That's my idea. Now, it's not specific to the 618, but it is specific to the price point or the zone itself. So we have two potential ideas for kill zone sells on Euro CAD rather. I don't know why I was saying Euro AUD. Euro CAD. So we'll actually do this. Aggressive and conservative sells. I'll actually just make this more specific. I'm not being specific to 618 for no reason. I'm just doing it so that way the zone's not like this big. But I'm just going to make it specific here. So we're just going to do this. Aggressive sell. Aggressive sell, and then we have our conservative sell up here. Keep doing that. Conservative sell, because obviously the risk reward would be much more in your favor that way. And I don't think that, you know, selling at a low point is the best idea. I would like to sell at the next highest point that the market has to offer, and I do think it's roughly around that point there. So hopefully that, you know, if anybody looking at EuroCAD, you got some ideas. And again, I'll be sharing these ideas on the Discord with you guys so that way everybody can stay tuned to the, or stay updated rather, to the charts itself. So let me actually make sure that EuroCAD, did I do Euro AUD? Oh, we're still looking at that. So let me actually, now that we're on Euro AUD, there seems to be some type of idea here. But yeah, I'll make sure that I post EuroCAD. Now that we're on Euro AUD, let me correct this. This is something that we were looking at obviously yesterday. Let me make sure I correct that. Fix our fibs now that it has fully or shown us a solid correction. I would like to see what we're looking at here. This trend line could still be broken. It's not valid. It's only two touches, 1, 2. So I really wouldn't pay attention too much to this as of yet. But what I would like to look at is maybe the idea of, again, this right here being a potential sell zone. So I'll make sure that I post this in the Discord for everybody as well. So sell kill zone. So right there would be a potential entry for Euro AUD for the downside. And that could mean that AUD, USD, or maybe other, you know, Aussie pairs may have more corrective moves to them as well before potential entries to the upside. But Euro AUD looks like it might sell from that point. So again, just identifying, marking some charts up for myself and some legacy students, because as these, you know, as we mark these up and as perfect as I try to be for you guys, so that way you are all educated and learning as we progress. These are going to be entries for signals for them and auto trader entries for them as well. And also back testing on my other computer for our EA, because the more that I do this, the better the EA is actually going to get, because it's actually back testing everything that I pretty much do from here and also the other, or that computer over there. I know you guys can't see it, but I'm just like as accurate as possible. But you know, I mean, like these definitely do help. So I'll make sure that I add these in the Discord for everybody to learn from. But yeah, let me see. New day, new way, new view, new you. What's good, Terrence? I love that. That's crazy. You almost had, I was like, what? This? No, but that's actually perfect. I love that. It's like a little tongue twister, but that's great. What's good, Terrence? But yeah, any other questions? Any other markets you guys want to take a look at? Feel free to let me know. Oh, well, I guess you guys can see that now. Myself and legacy students are currently in a buy on Euro GBP. Since I came to the chart, you guys can place it as well. We're currently in profits, as you see there, because that was our entry. So if you guys would like, you can follow us within this trade as well, since I'm clearly on it right now. So that'll be the signal for you guys for today as far as profits are concerned. So we are currently in buys on Euro GBP. If you guys would like to place this trade as well, I'll actually zoom in so you guys can see the stop loss and take profit. I'll get rid of this down here, and you guys can see that. So what's in red is your stop loss. Obviously, what's in green is your take profit. So about a 40 pip stop loss and a 100 pip take profit. So that's how I like to have my risk reward set up for the majority of my trades. Because obviously a lot of people, what they like to do is 10 pips, 20 pips, you know, on these trades, and maybe suffice with putting a big lot size. I like to place one trade, get 100 pips out of that with a decent sized lot, and then do that 5 to 10 times a week. You can get 10 trades a week and get 100 pips out of those easily. This could definitely be one of them. You have gold, which is volatile. You can get 100 pips in one candle. That's what my EA is trying to I'm forcing my EA to do that. 100 pips a candle. That's like what I'm aiming it for it to do. You know what I mean? So like, don't get the idea that you have to place so many trades in order to make money. Place one trade, ride that bitch the entire way. You good. You know what I mean? Like, so you guys can see right now, Euro GBP is just inching more into profits, Let me actually just make sure I let everybody know in the Discord real quick. I'm on my phone really fast. Let them know that they're in profits, because sometimes if I don't let them, they always hit me up. I'm not on my phone. I'm not on my computer. Are we in profits? So let me just let them know. We are in small profits on Euro GBP. And again, this is just to keep students updated, motivated, to continue to make money with us, and obviously stay placing big ass lot sizes, because that's where the signals are considered, right? We're supposed to be placing big lot sizes on our signals, because obviously I want everybody to make a lot more money on the trades. So if you would like, you could place a big ass lot size, understand the risk behind it. Please understand the risk behind it. It is a 40 pip risk. Obviously, you guys are going to end up probably in a little bit of drawdown because of the entry. We're currently in profits right now. But hopefully, if you guys do place that trade, you end up in profits alongside with us, or we just remain in profits, because next thing you know, we're in profits now, and then it just starts selling off like crazy. But let me actually just go ahead back to the YouTube, make sure I'm answering any and all questions. All right, so any other charts you guys want to take a look at, I'm pretty sure you guys got everything here needed for the trade here on Euro GBP. But any questions, anything else you guys got, feel free to let me know. I'll make sure that I add this in the Discord for everybody as well. But yeah, if you guys have anything, feel free to let me know. I'm definitely available. Look at that, Euro GBP working beautifully. And real quick, I would love to tell you the reasoning on the buys for Euro GBP, but it would consider me having to go over this whole legacy line strategy. But just in case any students here have in fact been studying their legacy line PDF, you could see there is a double whammy here, if you will. The extremes below the Bollinger Band, these double extremes, if you will, indicate that the market is showing a strong level of oversold area, and that it should be at least showing a strong impulsive move, a very strong impulsive move to the upside. And as you guys can see that, I mean, it is currently, because next thing you know, it starts selling as I say that. But if you guys would like to place that, if you guys already placed that and have in profits, let me know. It's beautiful. Let me see. What's good, Jay? Good morning, brother. What's good, Randy? What's good? What's good? What's good? Bunch of people on. What's good, everybody? Did I freeze? Let me make sure I haven't froze. I have not. Perfect. My webcam is loving me today. All right, so let me go ahead and see what else you guys got. But yeah, questions, comments, any other markets you guys want to take a look at, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you. And if you guys are in profits, let me know in the comments. I definitely want to make sure that I'm making you guys profits alongside teaching, value, consistency. That's exactly what I'm trying to build this community around, build this YouTube and Discord family around. So yeah, if you guys are making money, it makes me happy. So let's see if there's anything else we could potentially look at. Euro JPY, I don't want to trade that right now. This market's just kind of been weird in a sense. I'm not looking at that. Euro NZD, what is this? Oh, okay. So this is actually shaping up to be something. Not yet, but we're getting there. Okay, so I'll take a look at this at a later date, but not as of yet. That's not giving us anything I want yet. Euro USD. Oh, let's actually take a look at Euro USD here real quick. I do want to see. Yeah, I'm not a huge advocate of forcing trend lines to work my way. But I do like that idea a lot more. So we do have the break and retest of that initial trend line. We did come back to that level of structure to test as well at the trend line. So, I mean, here with Euro USD, I'm going to look for potential sells in the near future here. So this is just a seller's market. And it's crazy, right? Because you're looking at Euro USD as a strong sell, and you can see how AU is a strong buy. These markets are not correlated anymore, right? When you would normally look for EU sells, you probably look for AU and GU sells. That's not the case anymore. So that's why it's been a very weird time to be trading. A lot of people are like, yo, why am I losing money? Why is this person losing money? It's not the person, it's really the market. Our analysis could be spot on. There's been times where I've lost a lot of money personally trading, a setup that tried and true so many different times would always make me money, and then I lose because the market has been this weird, like, give and take, this push and pull, where nothing is, it's like adapting, or not adapting, it's like changing, I feel, in a weird way with how the world is working. So I'm going to continue to look for sells on this and continue to look for buys on AU, because I mean, you got to treat these as individuals, especially now. You should always treat every market as an individual, but you never want to just be like, oh, well, if I'm looking for buys on gold, I should be looking for, sells on EU. It wouldn't normally work that way. Now it does. So we got to look at these all as individuals. But right now I'll be looking for some potential sells here on Euro USD, hopefully soon. Let me actually go on to the 1 hour time frame. Okay. I don't believe that's actually a full correction. It is not. So that would be still considered one impulse. This just looks like one giant impulse. So I'm not going to use, you know what? I know by doctrine I'm probably wrong for doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to look for sells roughly. So sell kill zone. Yeah. I mean, not too hard to really dictate and tell what's going to happen there. So sell kill zone. Break below that point, come back up, test that area, look for potential sells. Real simple, right? As you can see, the trading that myself and my students do, it's not complicated. We're using common sense for the majority of everything that we're doing. We're getting a bunch of messages now. If you guys have questions, again, if you are asking me a question that you're on this call, ask me on the YouTube comment, so that way I can see it. I'm not going to be able to see it on this one. I'm not logged into my Discord on this, unfortunately, because if I did, you would have seen that pop up right there. But unfortunately, I'm not logged into Discord anymore on this computer. I'll do it right after. I just logged out really quick. But yeah, ask me on here and I got you. But yeah, sell kill zone. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. Any questions? Any other markets you guys want to take a look at? Smash the like button, everybody. I appreciate it. Good looks, Nikki. Good looks. Yeah, honestly, it really does help. I appreciate if you guys could just simply like or even share this with somebody. It's really important that we build this community, again, through transparency, tons of value, consistency, and obviously profits. Like if we go back to Euro GBP, especially if you place Euro GBP and you end up in profits, come back to this video and like it, because this is what we're going to be doing every day, right? I'm going to help you guys understand how to trade just a little bit more, mark some charts, and give you guys confidence with your own confluence of your own markups, and really help you guys just get to that next level. And then obviously with legacy students, we're going to be doing binary. I'm going to be teaching the legacy line within those binary sessions as well. The EA, the signals, also the auto trader with my own trades as well. So you guys are going to be getting that, and obviously more education along the side, because I'm going to be making, I don't know how I'm going to make a legacy line training, to be really honest. I don't know. That's like, making a training is not easy, I will admit, but I'm going to make a very simple, easy technical analysis training, because I mean, that's pretty much what we do all day. And as I teach the legacy line strategy, I'm pretty sure I'll start developing how to teach that strategy to you guys, and we'll get that out at a later date. But I'm going to put that out for you guys as well, so you can understand how to mark up your charts better, understand what tools to be using, how to set up your trading view, so that way everything's nice and neat, just to get everything prepared for you guys as well. So yeah, just let me know what you guys need. I got you. Let's see. Is it too late to get in? Look at the entry. Look at the entry. Yeah, I mean, this is not to sound disrespectful. This is where a lot of common sense has to come into play, right? As a trader, that's all we need is common sense. We have to use that in order for us to make money. If you can see that we're right by the entry, is it too late? It'll be a lot more later if we're up here. Just saying. You gotta, trading is a very individual sport. I know it's not a sport, but in the sense of what we do, it's very individual. Because what happens, I'm about to jump off this call. What happens if you didn't ask that question? You know that we're in this trade and I'm gone. You have to be able to make that decision yourself. That's really important, right? Especially when you're trading. Well, I mean, only when you're trading, right? Because we have to make those decisions. That looks like a buy. Let me go ask somebody. Fuck no. You need to make that decision. When you're able to build that confidence, tell yourself and reinforce yourself that yes, what I'm thinking is in fact true. You place a trade, you're correct. You're obviously, you're building that confidence. You made that decision. You have to make that yourself. Is it too far away from your standards to get in? Because if it is by your standards, then maybe. But it's currently at entry or roughly around there. So you tell me, right? That's really important that we understand that. Just letting y'all know. But yeah, any other questions, anything else you guys got, feel free to let me know. I definitely got you. And I hope I'm not sounding rude, by no means. I'm from New York, so everything we say sounds crazy. I live in the South and the Midwest, like a lot of my life too. So I got like a Southern twang. So it's weird. So like, I know I sound real rude and disrespectful half the time. So I apologize, but I promise I don't mean it. Thanks, Jay. See you later. I appreciate you, Nikki. Absolutely. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to let me know. If there's any other markets you would like to take a look at, also feel free to let me know. I definitely got you. If not, we'll conclude here in a little bit. I definitely want to make sure that, I did place that trade for Euro GBP on the auto trader as well. I was about to say I wanted to make sure that I had that trade obviously placed in the trader for students, but I already see right now that Euro GBP is put up and I can see the entry put in profits right now. So they are in that. So that's perfect. But yeah, any questions, anything else you guys got, feel free to let me know. If not, I definitely will see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. I'll make sure that I put these the charts that we went over in our Discord as well, so everybody can stay up to date with everything that we're looking at. I'll also put this in the Discord a little later on as it progresses, so that way nobody gets into the trade too late and everything. I don't want anybody placing it while we're 30 pips in profit, and then everybody's like, what the fuck? But this will be exclusive to everybody on the session because you took the time out to be on the call with me, so you obviously will be rewarded with some profits. So yeah, if you guys have anything, feel free to let me know. If not, my man Rome, thanks y'all. I appreciate you, my guy. Oh, Rome, how's the EA? Did you end up passing yet? Because I know a few students actually end up passing the FTMO account with our EA. I'm actually going to plug mine up to a live account. I'm just running on a demo, but actually one of the students plugged theirs to a live account, and they passed. They passed in like 4 days, I think, actually, since the beginning of the week. They set their own take profits. They did everything, and so far, like, the drawdown has been minimal, and they passed within like 3-4 days. I think they actually passed with more than what they were supposed to get. I think they got like 8 to almost 9,000. So far, I'm only up about 4. So that, yeah, they did like half what we did. And this is all demo for me. So yeah, if you're doing good with the EA, let me know, because I know that shit's doing real good, at least for myself and others. Yep, no problem. Everybody hitting me up on Discord right now. All right, so if you guys want to hit me up on Discord, that's cool. Discord, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you guys want, feel free to let me know. I'll definitely get in contact with me. I definitely will get back to every last one of you guys. But with that being said, I guess we'll conclude for today. Seems like no other charts you guys want to take a look at, which is cool. That's not an issue. I'll definitely be looking at some charts with by myself and with some legacy students, so that way we can get a strong understanding of what the market's going to continue to do for us. But yeah, with that being said, we'll conclude for today. My man Rome, we're going to get it in. EA's on fire. I love that. Perfect. Yeah, I just woke up in profits, and I didn't realize that my EA was off, and it still ended up with profits from yesterday that superseded my expectations. So we were supposed to wake up with even more profits, but I ended up not realizing I turned my computer off, or the EA off rather. So yeah, but it's on now, so we should be back on track. You should be getting some more entries and some more trades here shortly. So with that being said, definitely appreciate you guys. I appreciate this a lot. Never a problem, Terrence. Never a problem, Sandra. Always appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for being on today. Again, if you could like and share this with somebody, build this community through value, transparency, and a lot of consistency and tons of profits. That's the goal. I would really appreciate that. So thank you guys. Have an amazing day. I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. If you guys have any questions, again, feel free to let me know, and I always will be available. Thank you guys. God bless, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you.